A week of tests for the White House as President Trump considers expanding the deployment of troops in major U.S. cities, while also facing internal turmoil at his health agencies.
ICE agents have got to go! Hey, hey!
In Washington, D.C. on Labor Day, protesters pushing back against President Trump's use of federal forces.
Free D.C.! Free D.C.!
And in Chicago, crowds demanding Trump not expand his federal law enforcement surge there.
No troops in Chicago! No troops in Chicago!
The president has attacked Chicago for its high crime rates, even though the city's crime and murder rates are falling.
Everybody knows Chicago is a hellhole right now.
Two federal law enforcement officials tell NBC News that ICE, Border Patrol, and other federal agencies plan to scale up operations to arrest undocumented immigrants in Chicago as early as this week. As the president mulls that move, he'll also face questions in Washington this week over his vaccine policy, after he yesterday appeared to question the effectiveness of the COVID vaccines. They were first developed under his watch. In a post on Truth Social, Mr. Trump challenging pharmaceutical companies to, quote, justify the success of their various COVID drugs. It comes years after he launched Operation Warp Speed in his first term, which fast-tracked vaccine production, and which the president has long praised as a success.
We're on the verge of another American medical miracle.
And amid extraordinary turmoil at the nation's health agencies. On Monday, 9 former heads of the CDC slammed Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in a blistering New York Times op-ed, accusing him of, quote, endangering every American's health, and blasting Kennedy's firing of CDC Director Dr. Susan Menarez last week that led to 4 top leaders at the agency resigning in protest. The former CDC heads writing that Menarez refused to, quote, rubber stamp his dangerous and unfounded vaccine recommendations.
So, Garrett, let's go back to the federal troop part of the story for a moment here, because you mentioned that President Trump is considering expanding that. What other cities could we see, and what would that look like?
Well, Greg, law enforcement and administration officials are all pointing towards Chicago being the next major city to see an immigration crackdown, which could ultimately then involve the National Guard being deployed to back up federal agents, much like what we saw in Los Angeles earlier this year. And the administration has made it clear they're willing to send federal officials to so-called sanctuary cities that don't otherwise work with immigration enforcement. So we're keeping an eye on places like Boston, Baltimore, New York City, all where local officials have said, don't send troops, Mr. President. We don't want them or need them. Craig?
All right. Garrett Haake starting us off there from his post at the White House. Garrett, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.